The AI agent race is getting serious. Codex is adding goal-based, long-running tasks. Claude is becoming a stronger agent workspace, and Google is preparing Gemini Spark, which could turn Gemini into something much bigger than a chatbot. This is no longer just about asking AI questions. This is about which company builds the AI super app we all end up using. In this video, I want to focus on three major players: Codex, Claude, and Gemini Spark. Each one is trying to solve the same problem in a slightly different way. How do you turn AI from a chat tool into something that can actually help you research, build, automate, write, code, and manage real work? So let's break down what is happening. Let's start with Codex. The biggest update here is the new /goal feature. This is important because it changes how you use the agent. Instead of giving Codex one small instruction, you can give it a broader objective. So rather than saying, build this page, you can say, my goal is to research, design, and build this full project, then keep working until the outcome is complete. That sounds like a small change, but it is actually a big shift. It means Codex is not just following a command, it is orienting itself around an outcome. That is what makes this feel more agentic. The agent can plan, continue, adjust, and stay focused on the bigger objective, rather than stopping after one basic response. This is where AI starts to feel less like a chatbot and more like a worker. Codex is also becoming more useful for teams through plugin sharing. That means people can create reusable workflows, bundle together tools or instructions, and share them across a workspace. This is a big deal for businesses. If one person builds a plugin that helps with publishing, research, reporting, code review, or content production, the whole team can use it. That turns AI from an individual productivity boost into a shared operating system. And that is where Codex feels very strong. It is not just building features for solo users, it is clearly moving toward team-based AI work. Now let's talk about Claude. Claude has already been one of the strongest chat experiences, but the bigger shift is how it is moving toward agent workflows. It is starting to feel less like one conversation and more like a workspace where multiple pieces of work can happen at once. That matters because real work is not always linear. You might be researching one topic, comparing another, drafting something else, and revising the final output, all at the same time. Claude's newer agent-style workflows point in that direction. You can send off separate tasks, let them run, and move between them as the work develops. That is much closer to how people actually work. The desktop app is also important here because the future of AI tools is not just about having the best model. It is about having the best place to do the work. Claude is already strong for thinking, writing, analysis, and structured reasoning. The next challenge is whether Anthropic can bring chat, code, integrations, and workflows into one cleaner experience. But if Claude can pull those pieces together, it becomes a serious contender in the super agent race. Now let's move to Gemini Spark. This one is interesting because Google has a huge advantage, but also a real product challenge. The advantage is obvious. Google already owns the tools people use every day: Gmail, Docs, Drive, Calendar, Sheets, Search, Chrome, and Notebook LM. If Gemini Spark becomes the agent layer across those tools, that could be massive. Imagine opening Gemini and moving between normal chat and deeper agent tasks. You could search your Drive, summarize documents, write in Google Docs, organize files, analyze research, prepare reports, or run more complex workflows in the background. That is the promise of Gemini Spark. But the challenge is focus. Google has Gemini, AI Studio, Notebook LM, Anti-Gravity, Workspace AI, and now Spark. The pieces are powerful, but the product direction can feel scattered. With Codex, the pitch is clear. With Claude, the experience is clear. With Gemini Spark, the potential is huge, but the question is whether Google can turn it into one simple, obvious place to work. If they can, Gemini Spark becomes a serious threat. Not because it is the best agent today, but because it could sit inside the tools people already use. And that is a very different kind of advantage. So here's the takeaway. Codex is becoming more goal-driven. Claude is becoming more workspace-driven. Gemini Spark could become more ecosystem-driven. They are all heading toward the same destination, but from different starting points. And the next big shift in AI will not just be better chat. It will be about giving agents real outcomes, connecting them to your tools, and letting them actually do the work. At the end of the day, that is the moment we are moving into. And honestly, this is where AI starts to get very interesting.